Alright, everyone, what is up? So, this is the newest episode of the Irish Iron Rants. Of course, I'm repping both backwards on this, but the Gym Honest Reverend Hoodie. Shout out to Glenn, thanks for taking me in. Shane, Colin, and Connor McGee, Kieran Fitz, the guys out there, my new family, my new gym family. Um, the video the topic of the video today is one that is. I'll keep it crying short. I'm just waiting to pick up somebody, so I just thought I'd do a little rant. It's basically loyalty and coaching in the Irish bodybuilding scene. Okay, there's been a growing trend. Look, I've been in the scene since I was 17, 18. You know, I looked up the guys who had been in the scene for 20, 15 years. Tommy Staunton, Hickey, Brian Hickey, Lock Gannon. These characters who had proven themselves to be, you know, you know, coaches with a bit of renown. What I've noticed is with these guys, their clients tend to stay with them. The reason is there's a sense of loyalty that goes on in the old school bodybuilding scene. You don't have you don't have this trend that goes around where basically, okay, let's say a client does well. Let's say a client miraculously does very well in the show and decides, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to praise my coach. So what do? They praise their coach. They post all the things on Instagram, they post all the things on YouTube, Facebook, whatever else, saying, you know what, my coach is great, my coach is amazing. I, but when they do bad, who are they going to blame? They're going to blame their coach, without taking into consideration that the fact that maybe they failed because they cheated on their diet, or they didn't stick to the regime, or they didn't push it. They didn't tell the coach certain things. It's not always up to the coach. It's not always the coach's fault. It's more so the client. If the coach has proven that he or she has a decent knowledge or awareness of what's going on, what's going to happen? Of course, results are going to happen. Positive results when the client sticks with the plan. So my point in this is that loyalty among clients and coaches seems to be waning. Like, look, I have personal friends. I'm not naming names, but it's funny. It's like during prep, they'll go, "Oh yeah, well done. Shout out to my coach." Somewhat, what's going on. Like, shout out to my coach. Thanks for getting me where I am. And then in the off season or whatever, here's another trend. In the off season, clients tend nowadays to leave their coach. They tend to leave their coach and do their own thing, where they're putting themselves in a position where they aren't held accountable for their actions. They aren't held accountable for pushing it. And then come prep, what do? They text the coach after not talking to them personally, in face to face in person, or even calling them or acknowledging them for 3 to 4 months, and then they expect to win shows or do well in shows. You're not going to do well, because number one, you haven't been held accountable. You most than likely have not been progressing like you should have been had you followed the coach's program in the off season. The off season ain't the off season. It's the time to grow, time to progress, time to make changes to your physique. But as I said, I have personal friends who are coaching guys, and then they're going like, "Oh yeah, no, I haven't heard from whoever in 3 months or 3 weeks," or and then what, when they do well, and when the coach or whatever does well in the show, they're all too happy to praise their coach and say, "Oh, well done, pal, you're Mr. Ireland now," or "You're Mr. Universe," or "You're Mr. PCA," or whatever, or "You're a pro." Then that doesn't mean they're actually talking, but they're happy to ride on the coattails of the coach's success. Um, and then contact them when it feels like Like, I'm not saying the coach and client have to be in contact every day, but you can't ride on the coattails and call them your coach when you're not actively getting coached by them or not actively in contact with them. So there's just a lack of loyalty. I mean, like, guys, like, I know people who don't even stick with their coach for more than a year. I mean, less than a year. It's like they do a prep with them and then they go, if the show doesn't go well, it's all the coach's fault. He didn't know my body. It's like, no shit, you didn't know your body. You only worked with him for one show. You have to give it a trial and error run. It's like when I did my show. Look, when I did my shows in 2018, I met Christian McLean. Look, he's one of my best. I met him at 6 weeks out. Like, look, we knew each other beforehand. Of course, we were friends, and we did what we could. And then I took a hiatus. Then I came back, did my own prep with a little bit of input from him, a little bit of input from other people. But in part, I wanted to do my own prep to hold myself accountable for. So when I didn't do as well as I should, there was no one else to blame but myself. So I didn't blame any coach. But that being said, I realized then that I do need a coach to push me and hold myself accountable and make sure I am pushing myself. So, and I'm very lucky that I have somebody who knows my body well enough and knows what it takes for me to get to the next level and the next level and the one after that. But that's because me and him have been in contact for years. Like, so he knows how my body reacts to certain things. He knows what I can do and what I can't do. But you won't get to that stage of confidence with somebody if you aren't willing to put the time and effort into following a plan. Good example again. Why do you think Mr. Olympia is Mr. Olympia? Of course, because he has the best phenomenal genetics, work ethic, but show without having the coach. Like, look, Honey Rambod has been Phil's coach from the get-go. So it's like, he knows his body. And just because he's Mr. Olympia, like, you should use that as a thing to look up to. I mean, every good bodybuilder, more than likely, either does their own prep, 100%, which means they know their own body. And they might have a second eye to look at and tell them if they're in shape. In large part, all the bodybuilders I follow nowadays have a coach, but they've been following that coach. I mean, look at Chris Aceto's clients. They've been sticking with him for a long time, so therefore he knows their body. I mean, Jay Cutler, there we go, great example. He won his Olympia in 2006, but he'd been working with Chris Aceto since 1993. That is like a long period of time. But now, guys, like, they think they're better than their coach. Like, look, I tried the PT thing, it didn't work. I had one guy ages ago, I remember he asked me for advice in person. It was grand. I said, look, you're in school, pal, just give me a tenner a week. That's all I ask, and I will do you a in-depth training program, an in-depth, meal plan. I did my best, and the guy did great when he was with me, but on his own, he wasn't aware that I was watching him in the gym and things like that, and he was doing completely outside of the program, completely going off the wall as to what I told him to do. And then he was complaining to me about not progressing. It's like, yeah, you're not progressing because you're not following the plan. So, I think there's a trend now where younger guys, it's not even lack of loyalty, it's just they don't want to follow a plan. They don't like getting told what to do. Like, I find women and girls are actually better clients because they follow what the coach tells them. They actually stick with their coach. They have a sense of loyalty. Whereas a guy, once they look up a bit of knowledge, a bit of Google, a bit of whatever, they think in a large sense they're better than the coach, and they want to move on, and they want to, find a coach or a better coach. Or you have to stick with somebody at least a year or two, in my opinion, just so they know how your body reacts, or do a few shows with them. Just figure it out. Don't rush it. It's not even egos. It's just lack of loyalty. It's like when it doesn't go well, they don't blame themselves. They just blame the coach. But when it goes well, oh, I did the work. Oh, it was on me. I sacrificed so much. you wouldn't have gotten there if your coach hadn't pushed you. So look, that's the end of the Irish Iron rant. Just my point was just be loyal. Follow, just people just don't have loyalty. Just be a bit loyal. That's all. It's not hard.